From this lecture, we will start a new course, Power System. This course is very important for electrical engineers. There are 4 to 5 important courses for electrical engineers and Power System is one of them. There may be different names of this course. One is Power System, other may be Power Systems or Analysis of Power System, and you will study this course in 2 different parts. In your colleges, they will teach you this course into 2 different parts. First one is Power System 1 and second one is Power System 2, and if the name is Analysis of Power System, then the name of course will be Analysis of Power System Part 1, Analysis of Power System Part 2. In one semester you will study the first part and in the other semester you will study the second part. We will cover the entire syllabus. Syllabus of part 1 and syllabus of part 2 will be covered in this course, and if the name of the course is different in your college, then it is not an issue because we will study each and every topic. And I want to make one thing clear in the beginning, and this is for Indian students. This course is designed based on syllabus of GATE and IES. There are 2 important exams. The first one is GATE, the Graduate Aptitude Test for Engineers, and the second one is IES exam. And the power system we are going to study will be based on syllabus of GATE as well as IES. And if we talk about GATE, then there may be 8 to 10 marks problems in your exam. Out of 100 you may get 8 to 10 marks problems from the power system, so it is 8 to 10% of the total syllabus. Therefore power system is very important from GATE point of view, and for IES you may get 40 marks problem in the objective and 40 marks problem in the conventional. So for IES also power system is very important, and the course is designed based on these 2 exams. I will also start a new playlist for GATE and IES solved problems, and if you are not from India and you want to understand the subject more, then you can follow that playlist. We will solve few complicated as well as conceptual problems in that playlist. And believe me, the understanding of the subject is not complete until you solve different types of problems. So for problems, follow the playlist having the GATE and IES solved problems. And now we will start the subject. We will start the introduction to power system. The first question comes in our mind is, what is power system? So first I will read the definition, then I will explain it. An electric power system is a network of electrical components deployed to generate, transfer, and use electric power. So what we can understand from here, we are generating electric power. The first thing is generation of electric power, and then we are transmitting that generated electric power to longer distances. I will explain why we transmit the electric power over long distances. There is important reason behind this, and after that we use the electric power. We distribute the electric power to our houses, and there we use the electric power to run different electrical equipments. So this is the task of power system. We can divide the task into 3 different parts. I will write them down. The first one is generation, the generation of electric power, then the transmission of electric power over long distances. After that, distribution of the transmitted power. So generation, transmission and distribution is what we have to study in this course, and we should carry out these 3 efficiently. The process must be efficient because we want the cost to be minimum. We want to supply the electric power having the minimum cost to the consumers. Consumers are important and we want to satisfy them and they will be satisfied only when the electric power they are getting is cheap. So for cheaper electric power, these three processes must be efficient. So this is what we are going to study in this course. And regarding the generation, I will explain how the electric power is generated using different methods. In that, we will study thermal power plant, nuclear power plant, hydropower power plant, and a few other power plants. These three power plants are very important: thermal, hydro, and nuclear. Now you may note down the syllabus of the course. The first part is the power generation methods. I told you we have different power generation methods. The first one and the most popular one is thermal, and I'm talking about India. In India, the major power supply is from the thermal power plants. Thermal means we are burning coal or any other fuel to heat the water in the boiler so that steam is produced, and that steam is used to run the turbine, and the generator is connected to the turbine with the help of prime mover, and then the electricity is produced. In India, 70% of the total power produced is from the thermal power plants. After this, we have hydro power stations. In hydro power stations, we use the potential energy of stored water to generate the electricity. We construct dams, and the stored water is then used to run the turbine, and electricity is produced. 20% is from hydro. Then we have nuclear. Nuclear is similar to thermal, but instead of using coal, we use the nuclear fission, the heat released from the nuclear fission, to heat the water and convert it to steam, and 7% is from nuclear. So how many is remaining? 3% is remaining. So 3% we obtain from other sources like wind, sun, or you can say solar, etc. So this is what we are going to study in power generation methods. After that, we will study economic factors. This is very important. As I already told you, the electrical power must be cheaper, and for that we have to consider various factors. Then we will study economic load dispatch. This is another important topic, and these two topics are important and easy, and you will have problems in your exam. So try to focus on these two topics because they are pretty easy, and you can easily solve problems from these two topics. The fourth one is three-phase systems. Again, important topic. We will understand what are three-phase systems. After this, we will study transmission line parameters. ABCD parameters are transmission line parameters. Then we will understand the line performance, that is the transmission line performance, power flow equations, corona, insulators, cables, voltage and load frequency control. 12th one is fault analysis and stability. 13th, switchgear and protection. 14th, HVDC, high voltage DC transmission. Regarding this, keep in your mind, whenever the distance is long, then we use HVDC instead of HVAC. Instead of transmitting the AC power, we transmit the DC power. This is more economical for the longer distances. 15th one is flexible AC transmission system. Under this, we will study various devices to improve the performance of power system. In short, we call it FACTS. After this, I will explain various objectives of power system. This is the most important part of this lecture. We will try to understand what are the objectives of power system, and based on those objectives you can divide the syllabus. The objective number one is the cost. We want the cost of the electrical power to be minimum. The first one is the cost of electrical energy must be minimum. I will write this down. The cost of electrical energy must be minimum, and this is the first point, or you can say first objective of power system. So this is the topic, and under this we will study economic factors. You can see the second point in the syllabus, it is economic factors. So we will study economic factors. After this we will study economic load dispatch, economic load dispatch, economic load dispatch, and the third one is generation. We will also try to understand how we carry out generation in thermal, hydro, nuclear and other sources of power generation. You will get how the different actions in this power plants are related to cost cutting. The second objective is we want to supply rated voltage and frequency to the consumers. So rated voltage and frequency we want to supply to the consumers, and for this we will study voltage control and load frequency control. Voltage and load frequency control, this is very important topic, and in the syllabus you can see the 11th point, voltage and load frequency control. The third objective of power system is to provide reliable and continuous power supply. We want to provide reliable and continuous power supply to the consumers. I will write this down, reliable and continuous power supply. This is very important because no one likes power cuts. The power should be reliable and it should be continuous, and for this we will study transmission part of the syllabus. Transmission part of the syllabus, HVDC, high voltage DC transmission. We will also study distribution and generation in this part. The fourth objective is to have most efficient and faster fault clearing equipments. There are faults in power system, and to clear these faults, this means to isolate this fault from the healthy system, we need more efficient and faster fault clearing equipments. I will write the fourth objective, most efficient and faster fault clearing equipments. These equipments we will use to clear the fault, or you can say to separate the faulty section from the healthy system, and for this we will study fault analysis and switchgear and protection. Fault analysis, this one, and switchgear and protection. The fifth objective I will write down, stability of generator. We know what are faults. Faults occur in the line and the fault are generally temporary. For example, a tree touching the overhead lines, and when the wind blows in the opposite direction, the tree will not touch the line. So the fault is temporary, and for that temporary fault, if the generator is losing the synchronism, then it is not good for the power system. So what I mean by the fifth objective is that most of the practical faults are temporary, and due to this faults, if the generator is losing the synchronism, then this is not good for the power system. So generator must be stable. The stability of generator is very important, and it should not depend on the nearer or away faults. For example, at the generating end, the power is stepped up, and if there is any fault which is nearer to the generator and it goes out of synchronism, then it is not good. And if there is fault more than 400 or 500 kilometers away from the generating station, and then also generator is losing the synchronism, it is not good. So for longer and shorter distance faults, the generator must be stable, and for this we will study stability. In the syllabus you can see the 12th point, we have stability here, so we will study stability. The sixth and the last objective is to provide flexible power transfer over wide range of voltage and power levels. And in this we will study power cables. We will study power cables. In the syllabus you can see cables here. So we will study power cables. The flexible power we can transfer over wide range. Flexible power over wide range is the sixth objective. So this is all for this lecture. This was the introduction of power system. We saw the syllabus, we saw the definition of power system, and we also saw various objectives of power system. From the next lecture we will try to understand few basics of power system. I will explain things which are important to understand the course. And throughout this course, whenever you have any question, you may ask in the comment section. I will try to answer those problems as quickly as possible. So this is all. See you in the next one.